Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Fairfield City Hall. This is our Inside Fairfield program that will be for the next 25 minutes. We'll be speaking about issues inside of Fairfield that are affecting our city at this time. And I am Mayor Ed Malloy. This evening we have a very delightful topic to discuss, and that is two different projects that will be taking place in Fairfield this summer that will enhance the quality of recreation for our young people. And my first guest this evening is the director of the Fairfield Park and Recreation Department, Barry Dodd. Of course, everybody knows Barry, and we appreciate you coming in tonight, Barry.
You bet. Thank you for this opportunity.
Good, thanks. Well, I know we're just going through our budget process, and we're not quite done, but fairly close. You have a number of projects that your department will be working on to expand some of the recreational opportunities in the city. And I'd invite you to talk a little bit about those, but then we also want to talk about the Partners for Play 2 project, which would replace playground equipment in Chautauqua Park. So give us a little bit of a background on that project, Barry.
Okay, great. It all started a few years ago, the existing equipment at Chautauqua Park, which was so generously donated to us by the Kiwanis, the Fairfield Kiwanis many years ago, started to wear out. And the Kiwanis did a great job, as they always have done, of supporting us. The equipment had been there over we got its good life out of it. It was just really past its life existency. So we had to take a look at it. We patched it together for the last few years, and then we finally decided that it was no longer up to the current standards for public playgrounds. So we did remove the playground last spring to make sure that there were no injuries. And of course, the safety is the number one topic that when it comes to playground equipment. So with that equipment being out, of course, there was a need to come up with new equipment to replace it. Everybody knows how important play is in the development of children. I had a couple of people from the public who went out to Chautauqua Park all the time, inquire about that, and they certainly understood that the playground equipment, needed to be removed, and they offered to help if we were going to look at replacing the equipment, because they know how tight the budgets are and things like that lately. So we did get a committee together to do some fundraising to get this two nice new pieces of playground equipment at Chautauqua Park. Chautauqua Park is one of our most important and very popular parks, and we have a lot of kids there and events, activities, reunions, playground equipment in there.
Absolutely. Barry is probably our most used park, would you say, during the summertime? Is that
I would say it's pretty
fair to
close
say?
that. Yes,
Okay.
We have O.B. Nelson is used a lot too. We have some other great parks, but day in and day out, from a number standpoint, Chautauqua probably does have the attendance-wise there.
Right. Now, Partners for Play 1 was very successful because there was really a good groundswell of support from the entire community to make that investment, and I think people were very, very pleased with that. And also, the other part of that project was that it was constructed by volunteer hours put in by a lot of people in this community. Is this project going to be done similarly?
This project is going to be done just a little bit differently when it comes to the installation of it. We're doing a lot of things the same way except for the installation of the equipment. This equipment will be installed by as much as it can by in-house and contractual people with consultants.
Okay.
So we were focusing on getting the funds together, getting the equipment there, and having our staff do what we can to put the equipment in place. So the Partners for Play original project was great. We had volunteers, and it was just a fabulous project. And that's why we decided to call this committee Partners for Play 2, just going on continuing that by making advancements for children and being able to get them some great play equipment.
Right. Well, and I think that's one of the great assets that we have in our city are some wonderful city parks, and the equipment and the shelters and everything that goes into it is something that really does weather and age over time, and is something that we really do need to look at replacing from time to time. So this is, I know that place that was very important to my children, and I know it's going to continue to be for generations. So I'm glad to see that this is being done. Brian, maybe we could ask you to get your camera on our board over here. And Barry, if you could describe what we're looking at.
Sure. If you take a look at this component system, this will go where the original playground equipment was taken out, which is sort of by south of or north of Shelter House number 2 and by the A-frame restaurant there. So it's a very popular place.
Okay.
We have over 40 individual components, play areas on that piece. It's going to be a little larger than the old system, but you can see there are all sorts of play things on there. Includes lots of new features. There's going to be a track climber on it, or a track slider on it. There are going to be sort of mini rock climbing walls on it, double slides, suspension bridges, chin-up bars, all sorts of things that are going to be lots of fun. There's tunnels in it. Children really like tunnels. And the equipment is going to be, it's top of the line. It's very ADA qualified,
Great.
meets all the requirements in that area.
Great. What materials is it made of, Barry?
The component systems, actually, the frames are going to be steel and metal with PVC coated. The actual slides and the other pieces of components are going to be a very engineered plastic. So it's going to be very, very sturdy, will last a long time, will not fade for a long, long time.
Okay.
In fact, some of the pieces actually have over 100-year guarantee on it.
Fantastic.
Not the whole component system itself, because everything wears out, but some of the pieces actually do have a 100-year guarantee
Right.
on it.
And you said we got how much life out of that last set?
It was over 20 years
Over
old.
20 years. Would
Right.
you expect that this could last longer
This
than
will
20
last
years?
at least 3 times as long as that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, excellent.
With proper maintenance and care. And the proper maintenance and care on this is going to be, the maintenance is going to be hugely reduced because of.
Right. That's great. And Chautauqua Park also just became connected to the Jefferson County Trail System, so we've added an enhancement in that area as well. So this project is going to be funded in what way?
Well, we are seeking donations through the public and corporate businesses, and the project, we've just really getting started, and we're over a third of the way there,
Okay.
and we think that's great. We're getting a lot of support, and we're really just getting started on it.
Great. Now, do you have any part of this project in your park and recreation budget for this year?
We have just a little bit of in-house groundwork and things like that we're going to do. The
Okay.
rest of it is going to come from donations.
Okay. All right. Very good.
And we'll also have another piece that we're going for that will be by Shelter House number 3, which is a brick house. And that'll be a smaller, more linear section on the other side of Shelter number 3. And that will be a nice piece too, because that's a very popular place, and there's really nothing, the few pieces of equipment we have there also need to be removed.
Okay.
So that'll be happening this spring.
Okay, very good. Now, I know there's one kind of exciting spin on the fundraising, which is your Polar Plunge.
Right.
And talk a little bit about
The,
what that is.
The first annual Polar Plunge will be Saturday, February 26th at Waterworks Park. We're generating a lot of excitement about this project, and right now I've heard about so many people that want to come out and watch, but I'm not so sure about all the people that want to come in and participate. And it's going to be lots of fun for just a minimum fee. You can sign up for it. You get your sponsors to help on that, and you get a wonderful T-shirt that's
Great.
That's going to be supplied. We're going to have lots of fun out there. People are going to go take the plunge in Waterworks Park, and
Of course, you're one of the ones taking the plunge, Barry.
absolutely,
Okay.
you bet.
Very
I'm looking
good.
forward to it.
Who else is
And,
signed up that you're aware of?
Well, Steve Beltramea is going to
Okay.
do it. I've heard that Dave Neff is going to do it.
Dave Neff is going to do it. I know.
Right.
I've seen his pledge card.
So some of the lists are coming in, and we're getting very excited about that. But we
Good.
need a lot more people to sign up to take the plunge with us.
Okay.
If I can do it, I think anybody can. So
Okay.
That's a challenge to all my
There's
friends.
a challenge.
If you're not going to, if you're not, just come on out and get signed up for that. We'd really encourage it.
Great. Barry, tell us about some of the other programs you have planned for this year.
Well, we've got a lot of great programs going at the Roosevelt Aquatic Center and the Roosevelt Community Recreation Center. We're finishing up our volleyball leagues right now, our adult leagues. We're also in the process of planning Our summer brochure will be out before long, and we're going to have lots of great new programs this year. Of course, we'll always have our standby programs. Our soccer program will be huge in the fall, and we'll have all of our youth summer programs, our day camps. We're going to have an explorers camp this summer, all sorts of fun programs like that. And our swim lessons, we'll be getting them scheduled before long too. And everybody knows how important swimming is. It's very important to get your children into swim lessons. Our instructors do a great job, and we really encourage you to do that.
Great. Barry, also, could you talk a little bit about the condition of our indoor and outdoor pools at this point? I know when you made your presentation regarding budgets to the City Council, there are some issues and some concerns there. How are we doing with those two facilities?
Overall, at our Roosevelt Aquatic Center, I believe is going on its 13th year now.
Okay.
Overall, it is in great condition. However, over time, you need more maintenance, and we do have a couple things that we'll be working on this summer during our annual shutdown. We will be looking at the grout that holds the tile into place. On the floor of the pool, we had to close for about 6 days around Christmas time, and we'll take care of a spot to prevent it from getting further, which we did, and to prevent any further damage there. We'll be looking at that real closely, and then just regular maintenance items at the circulation pumps, the filters, those kind of things need continual maintenance, and every so often you need to do a lot more work on them, and you have to spend a little bit of downtime now, but it's going to make your pool last a lot longer in the future, and we're fortunate enough to have the support and been able to do that. So overall, our Roosevelt Aquatic Center is in great shape. That, like I said, it's on 13 years now, so there are some things that we are starting to need to replace, and that's why we've addressed some of them in the budget, and will continue to do so.
Okay.
And our outdoor pool, of course, was built in 1968, and it's done a great job of providing an outdoor swimming facility for us, but it is starting to show its age in many areas. The condition of the deck, the main circulation pump, and the filters are our concern. We continue to do the best we can to make it operational, and we have, and we will continue to do so. But eventually, we need to look at doing something in that area.
Great.
Of course, the water slide that we purchased a few years ago is in very good shape, still working fine, and we have that nice addition to the facility there.
Great. Barry, I also understand there'll be some continued work being done on developing the beach at Waterworks Park.
Right.
Not sure exactly what's planned there. Have you had any specifics on that?
We're
or just finishing what was projected last year?
Right, we're sort of finishing up those things. We're going to continue to make advancements in that area, make our signs more visible. I believe they're looking at adding some docks and ramps and things like that, and getting things a little more user-friendly out there. So we're looking forward to making advancements in that area. I would just make one plea to the public: please follow the posted rules out there, because safety is our overall #1 concern, and it's very important that everybody follow the rules there.
Good advice.
Be safe for everybody.
Great. Well, thanks, Barry. We really appreciate and recognize the value of our park system and what you and your department do to take care of it. It's nice to be able to add these amenities in our parks that really do replace very, very important things that we've had in there for many, many years. With the advances in materials and construction, it's great also to know that this will last 2 to 3 times longer than the last time it was. So congratulations and good luck with this project.
You bet.
Thanks so much for coming in tonight.
Support of support by the council, the board, and the public.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Now I'd like to invite in to join us John Ozimek. John is Executive Director and former President of the Fairfield Little League. John is really the backbone of Little League. If anyone has been involved with the program, from coaches to board members. And John is another person who is always looking after the welfare of Fairfield's youth, and commits himself and hundreds of hours every year to the Little League program. We have an outstanding program. We serve a record number of children in this community and have for years. John, welcome to Inside Fairfield.
Thank you very much for
You're very welcome.
Should I sit over there?
Actually, yeah, this is good, and I'll, unless you want to sit over here to...
Just so I could show my chart here.
Let's get this board down, and we have another project.
Yeah, our big goal is in 1957.
And we're looking at the Little League field here,
This
right?
is
Looking
at
at a
the Little
diagram
League
of the Little
field
League as it is now.
today. And the black areas here are the three fields, but these were the two original fields constructed in 1957, 58.
Okay.
This one here was added in 1994.
That's a T-ball field, correct?
T-ball field, right. And this is for the younger children,
Right.
5, 6, 7, and 8. This minor field is for 7, 8, 9, 10s. And this bigger one is for 11 and 12s. Now, as time has gone on, the original structures around this area from 1957 have decayed to a certain degree. And it's our goal to go ahead and repair everything that you see here in orange, from backstops to bleacher backings, which are now, safety issues are very, very important anymore. And so on a lot of these bleachers, we have to put backings, we have to put new backstops in here and here, new fencing along this. And then when you look at all of this here, you think, well, this is a large job, and it is. But we have to maintain what we have because, and this was the area up until 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, we purchased 2.1 acres next to the present facility that we have here. Now, what this 2.1 acres is going to do is add about 120 more parking areas, because here we only have about 35. Here's about another 20. We can fit about another 15 in here, and a little bit here, a little bit here, and then we abuse the residents on East Adams tremendously. But what we're going to be able to do, and what we're in process of, and we just started tiling today, is to use all of this for parking, eliminate all the problems on East Adams, and create a girls' softball field. Now, this softball field is very, very important for a lot of reasons. This field, when it's built, will be for girls ages 7 to 18 or 19 years old. This field is going to be used by Little League, but also is offered to ASA and also to the high school programs. Now, Bob Bradfield from the high school is going to be involved because it takes a certain composite for the infield. And then on this area here, which is going to take about an extra year because of the ditch that's here, we're going to put a practice field, and Bob's pretty high on this. He really would like to use this.
Okay.
But this thing here is going to be offered to, like I said, ASA and the high school. Now, just recently here in the past month, we have signed kind of a loose association. We're meeting in March with 14 surrounding towns, going from Bloomfield to Hedrick to Stockport, in which we're forming an association in which every facility in that area, there are 19 teams, every week there'll be 4 to 5 teams playing here in Fairfield. So in the overall scheme of things, over this one season of 5 weeks, we'll have 228 additional girls coming from out of town playing here.
Okay.
Our girls will travel to a small degree, but like if they're playing Bloomfield, instead of going to Bloomfield to play, they'll play in Eldon.
Okay.
So this way it'll be a little easier.
And is this, again, you're saying this is through the school system that they'll be doing this, or this is ASA?
No,
or
this is
Little League? Okay.
10, 11, 12-year-old
Okay.
Little League. And we found out that the 3 counties around us were in the same predicament we were. So a month ago, we all got together. We've talked about it for several months, so we got together and we said, hey, let's work on this thing together. Now, everybody's having registration by the second Saturday in March, and we're going to get together the third weekend in March and solidify the scheduling of all of this. At the same time, we're going to work with ASA, and this field will not be ready for 2 years.
Okay.
Okay, we'll still have to use this field. The biggest problem with this is sodding the outfield.
Right.
It won't be leveling, it won't be fencing, it's just putting the grass in and growing
Right.
the grass. So that's the biggest problem here. But as of today, we started the tiling program here to get this parking area, or at least about half of this, completed. Drish Construction started in, and they're gonna tile here and have that done in a couple days. Then we're coming down here with the city right-of-way and putting 2-foot pipe in, so that we're gonna use the city's right-of-way for additional parking.
Okay.
So we're gonna tremendously increase it, and I'm hoping that on East Adams, we can put signs up that say, for residential parking only, because these people have been great overall these
Right.
years.
They really have, and I know from serving on the Little League board probably 10 years ago or more when I was coaching girls softball that it really has been a dream to expand the fields down there. There is always an issue with having enough fields and really the ability to attract some of the tournaments that take place around the state. Maybe you can talk a little bit, John, about what this is going to do in terms of giving us an opportunity
Well,
to bring more people to our community through Little League or ASA.
in the whole scheme of things, because just like I said a month ago, 4 counties got together. There are 19 teams in these 4 counties. There might be 20 if agency raises one. And every weekend there'll be a round robin at 5 areas. And so that's going to bring in 4 to 5 tournaments each weekend in Fairfield, and we'll rotate in and out 228 girls during this 5-week period.
Right.
Okay, so that's a done deal. That'll be solidified by the 3rd weekend in March, after everybody in the areas have had registration. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is in the last 5 years, during July, we hold tournaments here every week.
Right.
And last year alone, we had 484 players come from out of town, from Sheridan, Newton, Mount Pleasant, Bloomfield, boys and girls, and we run tournaments here every weekend in July, and we had 480 kids playing. And last night, and I went to the Ways and Means Committee and explained, like everything we're trying to do to grow.
Correct.
And last night, we just got the bid, and we will be running the boys state championship here this year in July.
Right.
That's a 5-day process, starts on July 23rd, runs 5 full days. And I called you last night, you told me about Dave, so we already called the tourism committee up.
Right.
FPAC, Sioux Castle, Chamber of Commerce is involved now. We talked to Barry Dodd earlier today. So what we're going to try to do is try to make this a real big issue, utilize everything that the city and the clubs have tried to do. I don't know how many things they've been involved in, but this is going to be something that we can experiment with,
Right.
improve on.
Right.
Maybe we could have a parade. The first day is going to be a huge picnic in the evening.
Great. Well, we talked about this years ago when we started to talk about a hotel motel tax, because those are the kinds of things that really support your Convention and Visitors Bureau. It really is about bringing people to community and having them stay overnight, and while they're here, really getting the best advantage of them in terms of seeing your community. So they're here for a tournament, John, but what you're saying is it gives us an opportunity to really show off what we have here in Fairfield.
And that's what we need to do. And while we're here, this field here will not be used.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to talk to different groups. They could put up displays, arts, crafts, maybe some tents, depending on how the
Okay.
weather. They'll have to prepare, or we'll all have
Okay.
to prepare for that. And then part of this parking will be done, because I'm really.
I was just going to say, I'm
I'm
hoping
really
that some of your
pushing on
parking will
this.
be done for that. You'll need it.
Phil Drish, God
Yeah.
bless his soul, he says, all right,
Okay.
you started today. And so we'll have to do some parking, it's gonna be a little bit, but eventually, I don't know, it won't be ready for this, but we're gonna have a walkway in between
Okay.
too, from this parking area. It'll only be about 4 foot.
That'll make it a
But-
lot more convenient for people
A
to
lot
get there.
more
That's a long
convenient.
walk around the fields.
Right, but this area here can be used on Saturday. There'll be a large picnic, so we'll have an entrapped group.
Okay,
So that we
Okay.
could go ahead and do that. And then on opening ceremonies on Sundays, we could have a parade if we wanted
okay.
to.
Well, it's a nice idea, and I know you have a group representing a lot of the different elements of town, the city, Chamber of
Right.
Commerce, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Park and Rec, to get together to have a planning meeting to talk about
Well,
how
wanna
we do that.
Utilize these
Yeah.
new groups that we've got.
Right.
And
Good.
let them come forward
Good.
and help out too, because we need their help. And it's like anything else. This whole thing is run by about 10 people.
Right,
And so we need as many volunteers.
right.
And,
Okay.
And, you know, whatever anybody can do, volunteer, whatever it is, we really can, because this whole project is very costly and very little has been
Right,
put away for labor.
right. Okay. Well, John, we're City Hall sort of filling up here for our meeting coming up. I know that we'll wind this up, but just to say that I know this is a project also that is going to be privately funded. You have a campaign going on to help fund this as well. Why don't you talk just a little bit about that before we close up?
Well, what we've done is we've gone to some of the corporations, we've gone to some people, we've sent out 400 letters to individuals to ask for, assistance.
Right.
And I'm hoping that, they can come through because we'll be borrowing a huge amount of money.
Right.
Right now, 5 individuals own this land.
Right.
And that land is going to be given to the city free of charge.
Right.
And it'll all be part of, this is actually Humphrey Park.
Right.
And so the 5 of us will be giving that to that. So it'll be one big complex then. And with all this parking and all this other stuff, we're 50 years old in 2 years.
Right. 2 years. Okay.
Yeah, and we want it set up, not only with the new stuff, but maintain the old stuff for
Great.
the next 50.
Great. John, this is a great vision. It's a wonderful project. We're happy to see this going on as well. Congratulations to you and the Little League Board for your land acquisition and for your planning here, and we wish you all the best with this project, and we'll do everything we can to support it.
Thank you very much.
Good, thanks. So we'll finish up this evening's Inside Fairfield and thank our guests, John Ozimek and Barry Dodd, for giving these presentations on some great, exciting projects that will be taking place in Fairfield this coming summer. I invite you to stay tuned. We'll take a break for about 5 minutes and begin our City Council meeting. This evening we'll be considering our second reading of an ordinance regarding plantings around our fire hydrants. We'll be looking at a safety plan for our Fairfield Municipal Airport. We'll also be taking public comments this evening on our fire fee ordinance that was passed last time. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, and we'll see you again the second Monday of March for our program Inside Fairfield. Thank you again.